This is Denise Hansard, and I'm your life architect and intuitive geek. Thank you, first off, for those who have subscribed, the new subscribers, and for those of you who are coming back. I really appreciate it. And let's dig in. Today, I want to go back to the universal laws. I've got 3 more laws for you today, and I think they're really important to continue on. And they're really good ones today. So let's look at it. We've got the law of cause and effect as our next law. Relatively straightforward. I mean, this law basically highlights the direct relation between the actions and events. I mean, you understand that if you do something, then something else is going to happen. That's just it. And that something else that happens, that cause and effect, is based on what you do and how you work with it. So think about it. If you apply for a new position, that's what you're doing, okay? You're going to expect that there is going to be a result from that, an effect from that cause, which was you applying. And you will get some type of effect from it because you've taken an action toward it, which is then the cause of something happening. And that effect is basically you finding out, did you get the position? Yay. Or not. And you say something better is coming. Okay. What's important to note here, and this is what we forget, is we often don't see the effects right away. And you have to understand that they are going to come back to you. They're going to come back around. Even if you don't see it right away, just trust and know it's coming back to you. So how do you apply this law into your life? You have to trust. You've got to trust that every action, every cause that you put out there is going to have a reaction, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And you get to decide emotionally if that reaction is really good or bad. I mean, what you put out there is going to come back to you. It may not come back to you at that moment. You just have to trust that it is coming back. So remember that energy is all there is, and it is a vibration. So look at yourself. Look at the energy that you're putting out into your day. Is it love? Is it compassion? Is it happiness? Somewhat of a positive energy, and you're going to get that back to you. Or is it anger, frustration, and sadness? Guess what? You're going to get that back to you. But you get to decide what you put out there. That's the law of cause and effect. Okay? So let's put something really positive out there, guys. All right, so the next law, which I absolutely love, is the law of compensation. I mean, who doesn't love to be compensated? And as you think back on the other laws, this is very closely related to the law of attraction and the law of correspondence, if you remember. Think about it this way, because I know we've all heard the saying, you reap what you sow. That's the main takeaway here, guys. Your efforts will come back to you. Now, how positively they come back to you in the way of compensation, and we are talking about money here, something that you put out to be compensated for. That's what we're really talking about. You want to know how much effort you're putting into it and what you believe is the compensation that you deserve. I mean, if you're asking for something, you have to contribute in some way toward that goal. You can't just say, hey, pay me. I got a job, now pay me. You have to do something for that. And it's the belief on how you're going to receive that makes a difference. Do you believe that you'll receive something back for the effort that you're putting out there? Do you believe in your own worth for it to come back to you abundantly? That's the energy you want to put out there. That's the law of compensation. So let's look at how you can apply this in your life. To work with it, this law, in a manner that attracts or compensates you in every way, even in love and support, for example, you have to ask yourself a couple of questions almost every time when you start something. Does not matter. What am I being called to serve or to do at this moment? Where am I being called to serve and support others today? Where am I needed in this moment? And just by asking yourself these questions and listening to the body, not to the ego, but listening to your body, to that heart, and then taking the effort toward that will have the law of compensation coming to you in a way that you never imagined. And it is about knowing your worth and understanding your worth and believing in your worth and just knowing it's going to happen. Okay. So, our last law for today is the law of relativity. What this law is basically saying is that we're inclined to compare things in our world to others, to other situations, et cetera, and everything like that, and make a judgment on it, where in reality, everything is really neutral. I mean, relativism exists in all things. In the end, meaning comes down to how we perceive it. What's our perception on everything, our perspective? I mean, honestly, guys, there's nothing good and nothing bad. It just is. There's a neutralness with it. And it's all about how you perceive it. And it's your perception based upon past conditions, past events, past traumas, something or some things that have happened in your life that we begin to take it out of its neutrality. And that's what you don't want to do, because relatively it is just neutral, and that's the way you want to view it. So how do you apply this law? You got to do some inner work, guys. I mean, it helps you to understand the tougher parts of your life and apply some great compassion to it. Meaning you may need to do some healing, inner work, so you can perceive things in a different way. For example, if you're feeling ungrateful for maybe your living situation, your career, your love life, and you're comparing yourself to others, that's really what's going on, is that comparison. I mean, when you look at someone else and you start to judge your own life based upon theirs, then you've suddenly taken the energy out of relativity because it's not neutral anymore. You've suddenly applied an emotion based upon your past experiences onto it. And here's the way I look at it. No matter what you see on the outside for someone else and what's going on in their life, you only know what they're showing you. So comparing yourself to someone else kind of leaves out a whole lot of information about that person's thoughts, their relationships, their emotions that you really have no idea about. What you want to do is to love you and where you are at this moment, and tend to look at things from that scientific data viewpoint before applying any emotion to it. Because honestly, guys, what we see is just data. We take it in, we see how it applies to our life, and we decide how we want to deal with that, because that's the law of relativity, because everything is neutral. All right, thank you for coming on today. I'd love for you to like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, not going to hurt, go ahead and do it, and leave some comments. Love to hear your thoughts on all of this, and I will see you at the next date.